Nicholas. Looks
Awesome.
it looks like it's trying to set up the stream. And we are, oh, hang on, let me record here. You got it, and record. Okay, Nicholas.
Awesome. Welcome everyone to our book club call. I'm so excited to be here because today we're going through the last 2 chapters of the book. We're closing this. Well, we're not stopping. We won't stop. What's the word I'm looking for? Reading it. But we're going through the last 2 chapters, and I know all of you, like me, has gained so much from these calls. And yeah, thank you, Lisa. You're amazing for doing this. I'm gonna also, before I stop here, make sure that you're muted and make sure that you have pen and paper ready. And yeah, let's see. I'm excited to hear what Lisa has to say.
All right, thank you, Nicholas. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the book club. And these are the final chapters, as Nicholas said. I'm super excited about this, and I hope Melody makes it on before the end of the call, because I know with her expertise and wisdom, she could wrap this whole entire book up into a tiny little bow for us, like she does so well. Yeah, I myself have gotten tons of pops out of this book. And it is, I'm going to say this again, I know I have many times, it is not a book that you can read just once. There have been many people that have said to me, oh, I've read that book, when I try to gift it to people. I've read that book, and that's it, nothing else. They say nothing more about it. And I believe with every fiber of my being, if a person was to study this book as it lays out and learn these principles, and not only just learn them, but we have to live by them. You know, it's almost like we can say, you know what, no more BS, let's put up or zip it. You know what I mean? We need to step up and start taking action in the things that we are learning. And I've struggled with that myself big time. And it's just time to, you know, enough's enough. We need to step up to the plate. We know what needs to be done to be successful. We do. So we need to figure out what is holding us back. You know, is it still our paradigm? What is it? You know, is it that limiting belief? Is it that's trouble bubble on top of our head? What is stopping us from taking action? Because I know that we know how to do this. We do, because I've seen each one of us do it. I have. Dustin, Nicholas, you know, Deborah, Debbie, I mean, Katie, Melody, we all have done it. So whatever we come up with, that's just an excuse, because this book, every excuse that we can come up with, this book has a principle to say that is not true. And if you know what you've known, always have known, and you found out it wasn't so, as Robert always says, when would you like to know? Okay, and that's going to that paradigm. And I encourage you, I'm not going to get into what exactly a paradigm is right now, but it's basically our stinking thinking, because we believe what our surroundings are telling us, you know, our immediate surroundings. But we have to step outside that bubble a little bit, that comfort zone, and test the waters. Do you know what I mean? Get your toes wet, get uncomfortable, because we are not going to grow unless we get uncomfortable. And it's damn uncomfortable. But once you do it, it is such a feeling of accomplishment. You know what I mean? There are many people that will choose to close their eyes to the idea that this is an exact science of getting rich. They will still think that the supply of wealth is limited, and they will also think that it's their government is the reason that all of us are being held back or we're restricted. But this is not true. I was a good one for this too, blaming people or organizations, you know, for the lack of, and it simply is not true. It is true, however, that existing governments, they do keep the masses in poverty. However, it is because the masses do not think or act in that certain way. If the masses would begin to move forward, as it suggests in this book, nobody, no agency, no government can stop you. If we have an advancing mind and we hold that faith, the systems that are already in place would have to modify to accommodate our forward movement. Does that make sense? They would have to accommodate that. So we can't worry about all these things that could, should, Robert says, I coulda, shoulda, shoulda, until he shuts himself or shits himself, whatever. Anyway, it was cute when he said it, not when I said it. Anywho, if the more we have to hold that advancing mind and keep the faith. Like I said, before I got into the shoots, whatever, the more people who get rich on the competitive plane, the worse for others. The more people who get rich on the creative plane, the better for others. The only way that we can save or to have economic salvation, I guess, for the masses is by getting a large number of people to study and practice the scientific method as it plays out in the book. Thus, us giving this book away for free. Thanks to Robert, he did that. He allowed us to be able to do that. That is paying it forward. There is no sense in learning and studying this stuff unless we take action, unless we apply what we are learning. So this is why we are giving this book away. Because the more people we help learn, study this book, that's the better for the whole world as a whole. You are bringing people with you, not leaving people behind. Okay. And this, you know, when we start doing that, it's going to inspire other people to do the same thing. It will inspire them to have a greater desire for just knowing that they can have a better life. They just have to think it through. Think it through. Have it in your mind. You don't even need to have a set out plan. You have to have the faith and trust in the supreme, that formless substance that when you put out that specific energy, that is exactly what you are going to attract right back to you. We have to believe that and hold it and not worry about situations that could come about, because as we grow, as we learn, we're just going to know things are going to open up for us. Obstacles are going to fall away, or you're going to find a way around that obstacle because you have grown into that person that needs to see the best in life, not the worst. You know what I mean? Just that is it. I think that is so empowering to know that we actually can do this. We absolutely can. We must guard our speech, though. This is so bad. Be very careful with our words. I'm guilty of this as well. Never, 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 never speak of yourself in a discouraging way, and never admit possibility of failure. Don't, if you put doubt, if you have doubt in your mind, others are going to doubt you as well. Okay. We don't want to talk about the hard times that we had in the past or the hard times the world is looking at right now. The people that compete or continue through life in that competitive way, those are the people that are struggling with hard times, because that is how they choose to look at that. Okay. So if we want to be good at something, what should we do? You know, like if you want to be good at your job, if you want to be good at driving, if you want to be a good, sports athlete, a singer, a dancer, doesn't matter. You wanted to be good at something. What would you do? You would have to find somebody that is an expert at whatever it is that you want to do. And then you mirror and match them. Make sure they are documented in what they are doing, because any Tom, Dick, or Harry can blow smoke up anybody's keister with, I'm making this much money, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And you know what? I have asked people now, let me see the proof. The conversation ends. They're gone. So our mentor, my mentor, many of you on here right now, your mentor, they are doing this right now. And they are documented. That is huge. We are in the right spot. We just have to give it up. We have to give up our ego. It's always poor me. Oh my goodness, me again. And the world does not revolve around just one person. We each are very special in our own way. We are God's creation in my eyes. If you have your Nicholas, I know what your beliefs are, and I'm completely fine. You are entitled to, anybody is entitled to their opinion. We do not have to push that onto another person. We just have to act in that certain way, as this book describes, right? So in order to get good at something, we got to practice. We have to practice. If we first start out doing, like, you want to be a dancer and you go out there and you're probably tripping over your own feet and you look like you never danced at all ever, and it's embarrassing and you're worried about what other people think, you're gonna stink at first. You are. You can't worry about what others think. Everybody that knows how to dance had to start someplace, right? Everybody that has their own business had to start someplace, right? So don't take that away from yourself. Build off that. Build off that. Oh, shoot. Kind of lost what I was going to do next here. Okay. You got to learn, practice, learn, practice, learn, practice. You have to do that consistently. You do not have to master everything. You do not. You just have to be like, maybe this much better than the average person. This much better than the average person these days. You'd be making 60 grand a year. Who couldn't live off that? Right? Absolutely. You can only grow from there. There have been literally thousands of people through history since 1910, even prior to 1910, probably prior to the turn of that century. You have like Norman Vincent Peale, you have Napoleon Hill, Wallace Wattles, Bob Proctor, Rhonda Burns, Jim Rohn, Andrew Carnegie, Earl Nightingale, Earl Schultz, Henry Ford, Tony Robbins, Robert Hollis, Melody Riba, and thousands more who have become rich by learning the principles in this book. Here are all the principles right there in that chapter. The right to be rich, right? The science of getting rich. Opportunity, is it monopolized? You know, is your environment, is that who decides if you are going to get rich or stay poor? No, you need to learn the principles in this book and it will happen. And don't even worry about how it's going to happen. You will know that when you get to it. I absolutely believe this. Okay, so study this book. Make it your constant companion until you have mastered all the ideas contained in it. Because I can tell you this, it doesn't matter. Oh my goodness, I just lost my whole train of thought there. I'm sorry. Good grief. I think I can wrap this up, but I do want to, that kind of covers chapter 16 and 17. Chapter 17 is very, very short, and this is how they summarized this book, and I do want to read that to you. So let me do this, and then we're going to open up the mic, and if nobody has anything to say or add, whatever, then I'm going to ask a few questions, if you guys don't mind, just to see, you know, hoping that you guys have a better understanding for this book. I know that some of you haven't been here for every chapter, and that's okay. That is absolutely fine, because each chapter does have its own principle. Pick one and study that. If you can't sit there and just read the book over and over and over again, just pick something that you feel you need to improve on, whether that's gratitude, you know, open up and read chapter 7 that day. And then just try to keep that in your mind all day long. That is what I do. I do read a chapter every day. I go in order unless there is something specific that I really do need to concentrate on. And I know Nicholas at one point had mentioned to me, this was way before the book club, that whenever he gets stuck or just feels like he's just not moving forward anymore, then he falls back on gratitude. That is one of his favorite chapters. You know, it may be your stinking thinking as far as you live in Nigeria, the government is corrupt, you have all these issues, you know what I mean? I guarantee you there is somebody else somewhere in your environment that is already rich. I guarantee it doesn't matter where you live. You know what I'm saying? So it starts right here. It starts with our mind and our beliefs, and our stinking thinking is what we got to get rid of. Okay, so let me just, because I do love this one part. And this is their summary of the science of getting rich. There is a thinking stuff from which all things are made, in which in its original state permeates, penetrates, and fills the inner spaces of the universe. A thought in the substance produces a thing that is imaged by the thought. Man can form things in his thought, and by impressing his thought upon formless substance can cause the thing he thinks about to be created. In order to do this, man must pass from competitive to the creative mind. Otherwise, he cannot be in harmony with the formless intelligence, which is always creative and never competitive in spirit. Man may come into full harmony with by entertaining a lively and sincere gratitude for the blessing it bestows upon him. Gratitude unifies the mind of man with the intelligence of substance, so that man's thoughts are received by the formless. Man can remain upon the creative plane only by uniting himself with the formless intelligence through a deep and continuous feeling of gratitude. That means we need to be grateful for everything that we already have. And this is not talking about the material things. Yes, we need to be grateful for those as well, but we need to be so grateful for all the things that we have been blessed with, the eyes to see beauty in the world, our hands to work with, our ears to hear somebody say, I love you, the mouth to be able to tell someone else that you love them, the kindness that we can share. It's all just being the best version that we can be of ourselves and doing it without ulterior motives. Okay. The creative energy, I think I missed a little bit there, but the creative energy works through the established channels of natural growth and the industrial and social order. All that is included in his mental image will surely be brought to the man who follows the instructions given above and whose faith does not waver. What he wants will come to him through the ways of established trade and commerce. In order to receive his own, when it shall come to him, man must be active. And this activity can only consist in more than filling his present place. He must keep in mind the purpose to get rich through the realization of his mental image. And he must do every day all that can be done that day, taking care to do each act in a successful manner. He must give to every man a use value in excess of cash value that he receives, so that each transaction makes for more life. And he must so hold the advancing thought that the impression of increase will be communicated to all with whom he comes in contact. The men and women who practice the foregoing instructions will certainly get rich, and the riches they receive will be in exact proportion to the definiteness of their vision, the fixity of their purpose, the steadiness of their faith, and the depth of their gratitude. Okay. What an amazing book. 5 years ago, I read this book and I put it on the shelf. I didn't get anything out of this book then. So when I joined Melody's 30-day accountability, I started this book again. And when we create a course like this, and the only reason that we can do this is because this book is over 100 years old. So technically, we cannot do this with Think and Grow Rich. We cannot without repercussions possibly happening. So why is Jenna doing it? Jenna's good. She's good. If she has an issue with, whatever, I'm sure she can handle that way better than I could. So I don't believe that I am going to do that with my mentor's advice. So I talked about doing this book again. We can do this on our own. We absolutely can. We just have to commit to doing it. I feel like I am becoming an expert in this book. I am practicing the principles. I am definitely trying to live the principles. It's not the easiest thing in the world. You just have to be aware that we are doing these stupid, stinking thinking things. You know what I mean? We just have to be aware of that and then stop ourselves. That's all I'm doing. I'm being aware of what I'm doing wrong. So I'm always stopping myself. I'm always stopping. You have to correct yourself immediately. Fix that right in your mind and get that to sink in. That stinking thinking is not helping us do anything. It is not serving the purpose for us. Okay. I would love to hear any feedback or anything that you guys have to say about this chapter or anything else for that matter.
Wow, that was amazing, Lisa. Thank you so much. You explained everything so well, so into detail. So I don't really know what to share. I love the part from the book that we talked about today, where it says, be in a creative mindset. The more people that become successful in a creative mindset, the better for everyone. And the reason I love that is because I understand that now. And I know a lot of people in my hometown that lives in a, what's the word? Competitive mindset. And they actually believe that rich people use other people, they put other people away in order for them to become successful, and that's not how it works. We have to know that there is enough for everyone. There is enough, opportunity for everyone, and everyone can succeed. That is also a great point. That what was it that I wanted to say? Give me 1 second here. You talked about beliefs as well, and this is my opinion. I believe it. So that's the beauty of this book and what we're learning, that no matter what belief we have, everyone can do this. We just have to follow the book. And and I believe in each and every one of you that are watching this. I know everyone can do this. And I can only speak for myself. I know that I can do this. I just got to ask myself, am I willing to? That's, the truth. So thank you for an amazing call. I love these calls.
I do too, Nicholas. Thank you so much for being a part of this the whole entire time. I appreciate you and your opinions, your ideas, whatever. I just appreciate you so much. And I want to continue working with you for sure. We'll just, I'm actually thinking, and I brought this up to Melody. We talked a little bit about it. I'm actually thinking of maybe doing a little mastermind group, if anybody is up for that. I know that this time for the book club, Saturday afternoon is not the best. People have families and you got Saturdays. Most people want to spend that with their family, or they got work to do around the house or whatever it is. I want to come up with a weekday evening that would work. So if you guys have some suggestions or are interested or want to do whatever it is we decide to do, just let me know that. Okay. I'm not going to start anything right away. This has been a long book club. And for those that stuck it out, I appreciate you guys so much. I mean, that is what made this book group good. And I think we did do good. I think we gave value where we needed to. And it did give me a better understanding of this book. And I hope it did for you guys as well. But we're going to take some time off here, at least through Labor Day. Let the kids get back in school, let things settle down. Then we'll chat about what we want to do. Okay. Dustin, did you have anything you want to say, or Deborah?
Yes, I kind of lost you for a moment there, so I had to re-sign in or whatever. So yeah, I kind of missed what you were saying about a mastermind group or something.
Yeah, I'm thinking of not doing another book, at least not right away.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, because I think we need a break, and it's going to keep me away from doing what I need to be doing to succeed in my business. Even though this was great, I needed this. And you know what I mean? We all did.
Yes.
But I've got to get back to business. Now, this was a distraction, obviously, but a good distraction, which I needed because my mindset was not in the right place. When I started this book, it was not. So that's kind of cool, you know. Deborah, did you have anything, hon?
Hi, Lisa. Just wanted to say hi to everybody. And Lisa, you're a superstar with this book club. I have never been in a book club, and your honesty helps me a lot. When you said you read this book 5 years ago and didn't get anything out of it, I did the same thing 3 years ago. And so to get into it with other people and a new perspective has been incredibly helpful. And when you brought up the stinking thinking, was reading scriptures today about how to get out of your painful, stressful situations, and you refocus. But now you've made me refocus on this book and its importance, and to not just read it but study it. You've been great about it. You're saying that. I just want to thank you for doing this. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Deborah. That's very sweet. Thank you so much. I enjoy doing this. So, and I got a lot of pops out of it. So I'm not going to stop doing stuff like this, but I definitely need to concentrate on my business and take it to the next level. And October's coming up soon. Who's going to convention? Is anybody going? Dustin? No. Nicholas? Oh, I don't think.
No.
I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Dustin. Go ahead.
No, I have a ticket, but I'm not sure if I'm going to make it, but I'm going to try to.
Yeah. Well, I hope you do. I have never been.
No, me neither.
So, and yeah, so I'm excited. I think with everything going on, I'm a little bit nervous, but you know what? We can't let what other people do or don't do drive us. We got to do what we can do best, you know, and not worry about the others. So always keep that positive mind. If you entangle with somebody, or you know, a terrible, nasty customer, that's, you know, just keep smiling, keep knowing that you're doing things in that certain way. And don't ever try to retaliate against anyone for anything, because the universe will take care of that. We don't need to worry about that. So, all right, guys, thank you. I'm sorry Melody wasn't here. I know that most of you are probably here for her, but I am so blessed that she joined us on this, my idea, the book club, whatever. I'm glad it worked out the way it did. I wish we had more, but it's not our loss, it's not our loss. So, all right. Love you guys. Thank you so much for participating, and I'll let you know what we do next. Okay.
Goodbye, Lisa.
Bye, guys. Thank you for being here. Appreciate
Thank you,
you
Lisa.
all.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah. Bye-bye, guys.